Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 5 of Europa Universalis IV. We are playing as England. We managed to peace out with France in the 100 Years' War by giving them a few provinces. And then we decided to go to war with Scotland, and unfortunately they were being guaranteed independence by France, who instantly got straight back into another war with us. Now, luckily this time around, our allies Portugal and Castile jumped on board. Now, they have lost a few fights to the French. France has actually accepted peace with their former enemies Castile, and they have a white peace. Nobody will gain or lose anything. Now, this has only just happened, and now this is good and it is bad. It's good because it means Castile aren't going to lose anything. It's also good because it means that I'm going to stop losing fights or losing war score because Castile is losing fights to France. Unfortunately, it also means that Portugal have got a little bit more chance of being hurt by France. However, at the end of the last video, I did manage to unsiege Normandy. I'm currently unsieging Caen, or Cow, however it's pronounced, and I actually have some units sieging Paris as well. And right at the very end of the last video, which was absolutely fantastic news, Burgundy announced that they were also going to war against France. So this is really, really good because France are in a position where they just have far too many wars to deal with. And they already had a really low war enthusiasm and massively high war exhaustion. So as far as I'm concerned, that is a fantastic thing. England's war enthusiasm is also quite, is down to medium now, and their war exhaustion is getting higher, which can be problematic later on. But for the time being, I don't want to spend any diplomatic power to reduce that, because we might want to use our diplomatic power to take some stuff in the peace deal. So I'm not too sure if France are going to go after Portugal. They do still have a couple of units down here in Portugal. Now, this is one of the things that was good about Castile and Portugal being involved in the war. Even though they were losing fights against the French, which wasn't helping my cause, they were keeping the French occupied down there, which meant I could quite easily go over here, blanket siege the whole of Scotland, which I have done quite nicely. We can also see there's a weird Austrian army up here that is currently exiled. I don't know why they're over here. Maybe they were fighting on the side of Norway. I don't quite know, because I'm not sure why they're there, but they're there anyway. But we are basically doing our best to unsiege Caen and siege France, or siege Paris. We're up to 12% war score. Now, hopefully, if France start to withdraw their units from Castile, and remember, it's not just France, it's France and all of their many vassals and subject nations. If they come over here back into northern France, hopefully the Burgundian armies will start to mop them up. Burgundy did cite a reconquest Casus Belli as their reason for war. I'm not sure where they were trying to reconquer. Probably Calais, because they do actually have a core on Calais, and we can check that, well, a claim actually. If we go on to the diplomatic map mode, and we actually left click on Burgundy, we can see that Burgundy have a core on Calais. They also have a claim on Vermandois and Champagne, or Champagne. I assume it's Champagne like the drink, because that's where it probably comes from. So Champagne and Vermandois, and they've also got a core on Lyonnais? I don't know. I don't speak French, to be quite honest. And they're also have a royal marriage with Burgundy as well. So there are a few places around here that they do have some, they have one core and 1, 2, 3 claims. So that may well be what it is. So we shall carry on, try and get some more war score for ourselves. I'm going to speed things up a little bit. I'm going to go up to speed 2. I don't want to go up too fast because I need to be able to respond very quickly if the French army pitches up. We're up to 12% war score. This should start going up quite quickly now because we control the war goal, which is Aberdeen, and we currently have 11.6 war goal just for that. Unfortunately, we've actually lost quite a few battles. Caen being occupied by France doesn't help. We're getting minus 4.3 war score for that. But as soon as we unsiege it, that's certainly going to help. And of course, that also means if we wanted to, we could actually then move some armies around and start sieging out a few more of their provinces, which may well be worth doing. Here comes Orleans, or Orléans. I'm not too sure how they're going to fare, what they're going to try and do. Whether they're going to try and run into Paris or they're going to stop there. No, they're actually turning around. They're going back into Burgundian territory. Scotland's still fine. Nothing really going on up there. And once we finish this war with Scotland, we've got another one that we can almost instantly start. And we can go right ahead and start this fight with Leinster and Connaught over here. So it's going to be a busy time for England in these first sort of 50 years of the game. Portugal's still getting involved with something over here. Not entirely sure what. Looks like they're actually going after the French. Yes. Oh, yes. We've won the Siege of Cork. Fantastic. That gives us a lot more war score. Burgundy and Portugal are... I wonder if they're allied together, actually. Let's have a quick look. Where's your alliances? You're allied with England. You're allied with Aragon. You're allied with Castile. Aragon... I'm not too sure why Portugal's involved. I know Portugal is still allied with us and that's why they're involved in the war. But the good thing is they're actually helping the Burgundian troops fight the French, which is weakening their army even more. You guys may as well now move into another French province and just go and siege it out. Because the more of their provinces we siege, the more war score we'll get against them. So let's go and do that and just tick off the province so we don't have to hear cannon fire every couple of seconds. Burgundy are very much blanket sieging at this point, which is fine. I think what I might do is I might split this army up and take the half that doesn't have the leader and just move it back into Vermandois and siege 2 provinces at once. Should be relatively safe because you're actually back here behind the behind the lines at some pause. I think what I might actually do when they get there is just detach enough to siege and bring the rest back, just in case Provence decide they're going to try and dogpile me here. Portugal are fine. They're just going to sit there and cause some problems. Right, you guys just detach a siege and then the rest of you come back. That's fine. Okay, so we now have another event. We have a foreign drill instructor available. We can hire him. We would gain 20 army tradition for the cost of 50 ducats, or we could lose 10 prestige. Well, we've got a mission to increase our prestige, and as much as we like money, 20 army tradition is very, very nice. If you actually go in and look at our military board, you can see our army tradition here. Army tradition is changed by minus 2.68 yearly due to decay. Current effects: increases the morale of your armies, increases the manpower recovery speed, increases your morale recovery speed, and increases your siege ability. So it's very, very good to have that. The other important thing is morale as well. Tactics, sorry. Tactics actually... where's the list? That's telling me how much my tactics are improved, but not what my tactics are giving me. Tactics do make you better in a fight. Military tactics reduces the damage your units take in combat. The higher the rate is, the better. So we want to have high military tactics. I think tradition is the most important one. Also, higher tradition usually means you get better better generals as well. When you hire new generals, you will get better ones the higher your tradition is. So the French army, I think, at this point is probably completely broken. Units have suffered casualties, which is understandable. It's probably just because we are taking some pretty heavy attrition around our armies. They're pretty much all attrition here. Let us just have a quick look. In fact, we are slightly over our force limit. We're over our force limit by 3, which is why we're losing so many... which is why we're losing money. What we could potentially do... You are pretty much a full army. What about you guys? You're pretty much full. I'm just having a look if there's any armies that are a little bit beaten and bashed that I could consolidate up just to make them a little bit smaller. Could we do a consolidate there? Probably works. That might have put us down by... Nope, didn't drop us either. Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm not going to get rid of troops during a war. That would be stupid. It looks like Burgundy had a pretty heavy loss there. Look at that. They've got a massive stack of 26 that has lost a fight. So I'm not too sure who or what they lost a fight against. But we've got to be careful that whatever it was doesn't start coming for us. Up to 20% war score. Still currently sieging out Paris. And I think if we can actually successfully siege out Paris, it's really going to be a massive help for us. A little bit worried that Burgundy seem to be pulling back. So I've definitely got to keep my eyes open. And, because literally at the moment, this siege of France is just myself and Portugal. We just have a quick look at the ledger. And see what France have got military-wise. France currently have... They've got no manpower left. This is their big problem. I mean, we're down to 8,500, but France have only got 700 manpower. They do have 20,000 forces. They've got 16,000 infantry and 4,500 cavalry, but they've got no manpower to reinforce, which is excellent for us. So the more of them we can kill, the better. The downside is, of course, that doesn't actually count all of their buddies as well. So if we actually look here on the war screen, you can see in total there's 30,000 infantry and 63,000 cavalry compared to our 35,000 infantry and our 12,000 cavalry. So we only have, we're much further ahead in terms of naval superiority, even though, well, we do have some heavies there, probably the Castilians, but we are only slightly ahead in sort of army size. Hopefully Portugal will stay in for a little bit longer, but the fact that France has such low war enthusiasm is absolutely fantastic at this point. What we probably could do, and what we probably should do, which would be more sensible, is to take our transports and just put them back in Kent where they are going to be safe. And then take our lights and actually drop them down here in the Côte d'Argent, which will help blockade some of these French ports. Wasn't always that important to us, because if you remember in the 100 Years' War against France, these provinces were ours, so we couldn't really put a blockade here except on Poitou. But if we put a blockade in there now, we're actually blockading Le Bourg, Gascogne and Poitou. You can see Portugal are trying to blockade, but they've only got a 33% blockade because they don't have enough ships. Aragon is now the papal controller. If we actually have a look, we can see that Aragon have... it's because theirs is the oldest cardinal at this point. I think if... oh, they've actually got 2 cardinals. Yeah, there they go. So they've got 2 cardinals, so they are the controller. And we do actually have the majority influence over this guy. Hopefully he'll become a cardinal at some point. But I won't really bother going into that too much until we actually get some cardinals. Oh, wow. What was going on over here? I completely missed this. I did not spot that. I wasn't looking. I was too busy looking at other stuff. We've got a problem here. We've got Tuscany's army, which is fighting ours. Now, we're probably going to lose this. Portugal is trying to reinforce, bless them. They're not going to arrive until the 7th of May, though. I don't think I'm going to... They were really clever there to sneak round the back. Oh, thank you, Portugal. Portugal have actually arrived, and we are probably going to win that battle. I don't think these guys will be able to reinforce in time. And we have won another battle. Thank you, Portugal. That was some excellent timing on your part there. I'm going to select this army and click attach to the unit, which will allow Portugal's army to follow it around if they wish to. Right, the Burgundian army is taking attrition. They are... No, they were thinking about it. Paris is the important one. If their army start to try and come towards me, I'm quite happy to abandon these 2 sieges and just put everybody in Paris. It's getting Paris that is going to make the difference to us. But the French are quite broken. It's going to take them an awfully long time to recover because they've got no manpower. We're going to have another royal marriage with Portugal because that has ended. Because obviously, you know, the people that are married do die, so they don't last indefinitely. That is fine. Royal marriage is sorted out there. So hopefully the Burgundian army is going to go over and just find the French and just face roll them. That'd be ideal. Hopefully you guys will recover. In fact, if we select this army and consolidate you... So, 2 options that you do have, and I never explained these very well. There's more than 2 options that you have. So, some things I did explain in another video. You've got your 3 buttons over here, which allow you to split in half, detach a siege, or basically attach them to the transports. Split in half is quite obvious. It just halves the army into 2. Detach a siege we've already used several times. It just leaves enough units behind to siege. And attach to a friendly transport ship. We've done that. That makes sense. Create new unit. Create new unit is better served when you have a bigger army. If you create new unit, you can manually select which of your individual regiments splits between the two armies, and then you can select one automatically from the list. The other options you have is attach to this unit. If you click attach to this unit, it allows your allies, which include your subject nations, it allows them to attach their armies to your army and follow you around. So if they decide to attach to the unit, then they will follow you around. Now, the opposite of attach is this. I can attach to, which I just have done, to automatically follow that Portuguese army around. So if that Portuguese army now moves, these guys will follow it around. Now if I unattach, now I won't. Now it's only possible to do that if the army you're trying to attach to has this checkbox ticked. So they go hand in hand. Consolidate regiments is something that I just did on one of these groups over here. If you have some regiments that aren't at full strength, you can actually consolidate them together to make fewer regiments, but they're more complete in terms of numbers of men, which is good because it means you can start to reduce your force limit down, and it also means you're not spending as much money and manpower trying to reinforce. So we did manage to drop our total forces by 1. We're still over the force limit by 2. We're 14% of the... Portugal will transfer trade power to Castile. Okay. 14% of the way through the siege on France, which is very, very nice. 21% of the way through on France. That's Burgundian. That's fine. See, again, another worrying thing. Like 30,000 men went out and only 16,000 have come back with very low morale. I'm not sure what's going on down here. I don't know what they keep running into. Hopefully I won't keep running into them though. So we are doing very well here. Let's just have a very quick look over on England, see what's happening up here. No, we're still doing well. That's all fine. I think what we are going to do here is we're going to take this guy who's just standing around in Kent, because I don't think he's needed there, and we're going to disband him. And that'll save us a little bit more money. We're actually making money now instead of losing it. We are still above our force limit, but only by 1. Burgundy is fighting a unit down here. Oh wow, they reinforced very quickly. Now the question is, what are they going to do? Are they going to try and come in and take Paris? It's unknown at this point. Where are they going to try and go? Looks like they might just be going straight after Burgundy. No one's attempting to come. They might try and go around the back and come in over here again. There's not an awful lot I can do about that if they do. Like I said, I'm not overly bothered about that siege. I mean, I don't even have a core on or a claim on that place. Paris is the important one. And this one I'd like to get because it's quite defended and it's almost complete. Portugal accepted peace with France. Now, this is problematic because it now means I'm in this war on my own. Still doing well in the grand scheme of things because France have very low war enthusiasm and massive war exhaustion at this point. So it is quite possible that they would peace out. We're at 25%. I think we can get a little bit more. I'd certainly like to try and siege Paris before we go... Right, okay, now they are deciding they want to move in. They're going to arrive on the 18th of October. If we try and move you into Paris, how long will it take you to get there? The 18th of October. Now, the reason they're moving in now is because they've peaced out with Portugal. So this Portuguese army being here is no longer a threat to them. And we've won this siege over here, which means we can now select these guys and move them into Paris. Burgundy is still fighting. Maybe we can get there in time to reinforce. I don't think we're going to need to reinforce, actually. I think they will be fine. So maybe we should go down here. Just see what we can catch. We know France have got a big stompy force around somewhere. Okay, we've managed to flip France. Or flip Paris, even. Now we've got these guys sort of lumbering around. Right, where are you guys off to, or where do you think you're off to, is the important question here. You're going to go and try and unsiege that, are you? That's absolutely fine. Okay, right. Novgorod have a peace offer. We've received an offer for peace from Novgorod. They are offering us the following terms. They negotiate on behalf of our entire alliance. We negotiate on behalf of our entire alliance, and they are mere negotiating for themselves. White peace, nobody will gain or lose anything. So we could peace out Novgorod on their own. But we don't really need to do that, so we're not going to bother with it. What we are going to do is we are going to take this army. Oh, they've moved. When are they going to leave? On the 4th of December. When will we arrive? On the 6th of December. We won't quite be able to catch them, which is a real shame. That's fine. We'll just sit here in France and catch you later on. It's not a problem. Might be worth actually having a look at the peace terms soon, and just actually seeing what we can get out of them. The fact that we now control Paris is very, very good for us. Obviously, we do want to start taking out some bits of Scotland, but it's not necessarily going to be all that easy. Right, are you guys going to stay behind? No, as soon as we click, they go to move. They're going to leave on the 2nd and 3rd of January. We are going to arrive on the 31st of December. We can actually catch them there, actually. So, we might win this one. And indeed we do. There's another battle in our favour. So, okay, battle sound effects, don't need them anymore. So we are now up to 37% war score. It's maybe we would be piecing out a little bit too early. Let's just have a quick look at the ledger. Just see how things currently stand. France has managed to regain some manpower. They still have 15,000, well, nearly 16,000 infantry and 4,000 cavalry around. So they still certainly do have a few units. And of course, remember, that's not counting their vassals and all their buddies as well. You guys should probably... Right, Right, we're not going to attack with these guys because these guys have a lot of cavalry. And cavalry... gets a penalty because we've got more cavalry than we've actually got men, but we don't want them to siege this place out. But there again, though, a nine stack on top of their 1 stack, even with the cavalry penalty, is still going to win quite easily. So we shall go ahead and do that. And every battle you win helps, and it'll stop their siege, of course. So we do get a penalty, but we do win, and we've stat wiped them. So let's move you guys back over into Paris. And I'm just going to sit on Paris and try and defend it at this point. In fact, no, we're going to move you into Orleans and destroy that guy down there. Because every time they do that, they're literally just wasting money and manpower. Oops, another little battle one. Bit more war score, up to 39% now. So we're doing good. Our army's successfully arrived in Paris. So let's actually have a look and see if we could peace out. Because our war enthusiasm has suddenly jumped back up to high. And look at theirs. They are completely trashed. I'm almost tempted to just carry on with this, just to try and get as much out of them as possible. Let's just have a quick look and see what we could get, though, in a current peace deal. Right, the important things we would need to do. If we look down here, it's a little bit difficult to see because it's behind the slidey bar, but you can see there's a little icon here, which looks like 2 pieces of paper. That's on Aberdeen, because Aberdeen is the war goal, and we should be taking Aberdeen because it is the war goal. We want to take Lothain, but we shouldn't be able to take Lothain because it's their capital. Apparently we can. So we could take Lothain as well as Aberdeen. We could also possibly take Ayrshire. Fife's a little bit too much. They wouldn't give us Fife. They wouldn't give us the Highlands. And they wouldn't give us the Western Isles. But we might be able to take a little bit more. Now, if we did that, we would get 60% overextension, which is very bad, but not terrible. And we would also get quite a bit of aggressive expansion. We couldn't go for full annexation. There's no way we're going to have enough war score to be able to do that. Do we want to potentially try and take back any of the French land over here? would it be nice to try and take back Labour or Gascoigne? Because we do have cores on those already. Because Labour wouldn't give us any overextension because it's already considered part of our land. But it's a little bit too much for the French to give us. You see, even though the current peace offer value is 48 and we only have 39%, they would be willing to accept it because there's a minus negative penalty for demands exceeding the war score. But the thing is, they have so much war exhaustion that they're just pretty much willing to give up at this point. But for that very reason alone, I don't think I'm going to end the war here because I think I can maybe squeeze a little bit more out of them. I don't want any more overextension, so we probably won't get to take any more of Scotland. However, it would be nice if we could take those 2 provinces back because we already have the cores on them. So that wouldn't cause us any overextension. So I think at this point, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm not going to peace out. We know what we can take. If it looks like the war's starting to turn in the enemy's favour, then we will peace out. But as it stands, we're going to push on and see what else we can get out of them. But we'll do that next time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Europa Universalis IV. And I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.